The Chaser Report is recorded on Gadigal land.
Striving for mediocrity in a world of excellence. This is...
You're listening to Science Versus.
Hello and welcome to Science Versus, one of the most successful Australian podcasts internationally.
Yes.
Presenter Wendy Zuckerman used to work at the ABC.
Yes. Unfortunately, Wendy's not here today.
No, Wendy's not here today, and in fact, this is the Chaser Report impersonating Science Versus, much as former Prime Minister Scott Morrison signed himself into a whole lot of other jobs.
And it keeps coming out that he did more and more things. Did you hear about that grant that he approved? This is like $800 million worth of grants that he approved as Prime Minister in the lead up to the election. But one of them, he did it with the power of industry and trade.
Oh, there you go, which is also science, isn't it? So he signed himself in as the Minister for Science. So what better thing to do than Science Versus?
So the point is that this is the definitive podcast on science today. So this is going to be an amazing show.
Amazing show.
Because we're going to tell you all about science. Yeah.
And Science Versus started as a little project at the ABC at the same time as David Hunt and I started our Rum Rebels and Ratbags podcast.
Oh, yes.
Which did quite well.
Yes.
The Australian History
In
podcast,
fact,
which I recommend.
Didn't it outrate Science Versus?
I think it did initially.
Yeah.
But the difference was that Science Versus was picked up by Gimlet in the very cool podcasting company in the US because it was globally relevant, whereas ours wasn't.
Yes.
And then bought by Spotify. So it's now made by several of the world's largest companies. Looking at their last episode here, they interviewed a guy called Dr. Anthony Fauci. So they're doing okay.
They're doing okay.
Yeah, they're doing all right, but they're no Chaser Report.
Oh, God, no.
No. So
you wouldn't want to be Science Versus.
in many ways, we're giving them a signal boost, I feel, by impersonating Science Versus. So science stories of the week. What have we got? Let's look at some science
Should we go to an ad first?
Yeah.
It's been scientifically proven that this ad is great.
You're listening to Science Versus.
Unless you check out the podcast reviews that are left on the Apple Podcast app, you can leave one today. Please make it 5 stars. So, Charles, I've got some science for you.
Oh, okay. Yes, great.
This is science. It's in fact from livescience.com. Orcas are attacking boats near Europe, right? What they're doing is they're coming up to boats off Europe in the Mediterranean or Norway, places like that, and snapping off the rudders.
Oh, yes. Can I guess why they're doing that?
Why do you think?
Because they're protesting their depiction in Free Willy 2. Is that what's happened?
It doesn't say that it's that. I mean, my hypothesis, because as a scientist I like hypotheses, is that it's nature deciding to get rid of us. I think it's increasingly clear that Mother Nature, the sum total of all creatures on the planet, have just gone, no, fuck humans.
No, but
they're ruining everything.
Are they? But so. Don't dolphins, because orcas are dolphins, aren't they?
Killer whales.
Yeah, they're killer whales. They're actually dolphins.
Are they?
Like,
okay,
sorry, just speaking scientifically.
Sure. Science me.
Adolescent dolphins go through a phase where they do antisocial things to humans often. Like that would be this season's craze.
Well, it says here that it could be a fad.
Yeah, it's a fad, yeah.
They have influences.
But
there are influences in the orca world.
Because you know what they did a few years ago, what the fad was amongst, and it's only amongst male adolescent orcas that do this. But the fad a few years ago was they would kill, was it seals, baby seals or something like that, and then wear the corpses on their head. Do you remember that?
They did it.
Or was it with
in
fish?
1987? It was orcas in the Puget Sound began wearing dead salmon-like hats.
Yes, that's right.
Why didn't we think of that?
Well, that was the last time hats were trendy, wasn't it?
They also started walking on their tails at one point. And this is because there was one dolphin that was being healed in a kind of research centre where they had captive dolphins who were trained to walk on their tails, right, for entertainment purposes. Yeah. Picked up the behaviour and spread it.
Oh, right.
And this just goes to show that we're the superior species because they didn't keep going. They didn't push on to be able to walk on land. They actually just went, nah, fuck.
No, they probably went, oh, fuck, we don't want to be like humans. They're awful people who lock up our friends.
Yeah, and make them do tricks and spin balls on their noses.
Yeah.
They play with crab pots, apparently, in the Pacific. But no, the rudder thing, I mean, that's actually pretty chilling because these boats then have to just drift along. And no one's died yet, but they easily could.
Well, I kind of think it's fair game. I mean, we're the ones who are invading their geographical space. We're invading their space. surely they should be allowed to do what they would like. Like if they came on land, we'd have no compunction in just being mean to them.
That's true.
We?
That's true.
Like
if they knocked on our door,
yeah.
Walking on their fins.
Yeah, walking in their fins. What would we do? We would push them over.
Yes,
which would be very easy to do.
It wouldn't be hard. But I'm just imagining if this story were used and adapted into a movie.
Yes.
It could be like the most slow-paced version of Jaws, where instead of actually taking a bite out of humans, like the great white shark, the orca just disables the rudder. And they just slowly drift for days.
Oh, I think
eventually die of
Tom
starvation.
Hanks would do a very good job on that. Though,
Give him a volleyball as a co-star.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's one bit of news from the world of science. Another bit of news is that
I don't feel that was very sciencey.
It's animal
It's
behaviour.
orca, yeah.
All right. Well, what about this? Let's go to space. Let's go to space. And this is from NASA. NASA has recorded a black hole from the Perseus cluster. It sounds like this. I mean, that's pretty chilling, isn't it? That black hole, that's eerie.
What? That doesn't make it... That is just not true. That is not true. There's no such thing.
Are you saying NASA made this up?
Yes, because, there's no such thing as sound in space. Everyone knows that. Space is silent because there's no medium through which sound can be transmitted. Second of all, everything NASA puts out is bullshit.
Okay, well, let's
speaking
deal with
scientifically.
the second point later. The first point is, no, you're wrong. It is because the reason why we can actually hear it, and they address this, it's because, it says, NASA tweeted about this, that there's a misconception that there is no sound in space simply because there is very little. And when there's a galaxy cluster, there's enough gas that the sound can actually transmit through it. So they've picked it up and amplified it, and it sounds bizarrely like the chilling sound of every black hole in a sci-fi movie, like Ed Wood and all this. They're actually right. It does sound terribly spooky like that. Some have suggested that the Guardian article that I was reading suggested it might also be a new Björk album. I'm not entirely sure. But it makes me think that sound, I would rather listen to those radio waves than most of commercial FM.
But I just doubt that it's still true. I get your explanation, but it's like, they go, oh, this is what the galaxy looks like. And then you find out, well, what we did was we got these waves that had been redshifted, to be completely different.
Indivisible light.
And we just adjusted it so that it's sort of like a synoptic chart or something like that. Like we've just mapped different colours according to different radio waves.
Well, they have said here
hey,
that
presto, this is what it looks like. It's just
rubbish.
rubbish.
With other data.
Yes.
Which makes me wonder, Charles, couldn't NASA's technology be used on the Ray Hadley morning show to make it better? They take the signal, the radio waves coming up from Ray Hadley and edit it and mix it around so that it actually is less shit.
Yes. So I'm not quite understanding, but so...
Well, you're saying
you take the signal.
You take the signal. And just as they took the black hole signal and made it listenable,
and you'd interpret it.
Yeah, you'd run it through a computer.
Yes.
You'd amplify the good bits.
Yes.
And you'd get rid of the bad bits, and you'd basically have dead air for 3 hours in the morning, wouldn't you? But it'd be very listenable.
Yeah. Although, surely, could you mix it in with a bit of music and turn it into a sort of...
It could even be white noise. For children, we've got a baby. There's a white noise generator.
Yes.
And to be fair, a lot of broadcasts on TGB are very pro-white. So it would fit in quite well with the station.
Yeah.
You're listening to Science Versus.
That's another bit of science news. And the final one I have for you, and this is from yesterday.
I am.
Which is that they've discovered a mystery animal. In the Adelaide Hills, some bushwalker found a creature that they thought could have been a Tasmanian tiger. So maybe they aren't extinct after all. Maybe they've gone. And it does make sense, given that Tasmania is now quite fashionable as a destination, that the most unspoilt place would be Adelaide.
Yes.
Where nature's just left alone.
It's pristine.
Untouched by human civilization.
Yes.
Most of South Australia, that's true of.
And because, whenever there's human interference, those humans end up being murdered.
Maybe Adelaide's been misrepresented, it's not a serial killer capital. It's a thylacine capital.
What? And the thylacines kill everyone by putting them in acid baths?
They're very evolved.
Well, that's good. I'm glad that we've got another animal who can see out the next 25 years of climate apocalypse and then become extinct.
So you think the scientists are kind of wasting their energy
bringing
creatures back when instead they should be solving the imminent death of the whole planet?
Yeah, anyone who's just trying to save anything at the moment is just wasting their time. It's over. Have you not seen China is currently suffering from the worst heat wave in the history of humanity, is what they're saying, right? There's like 700 records were broken yesterday, and most of the temperatures like sort of like 45 degrees during the day and 34 at night. Now that is unlivable. That is unlivably hot. Europe is suffering from its worst drought in 500 years at the moment. Like, it's over, Dom.
But as against that, Charles,
you might as well just go to Portugal, have a nice holiday, burn as much carbon as you like. Like, I'm back on the side of the climate deniers, not because I believe that they're true. It's just like you might as well just this is last days of Rome.
If Rome had burnt to a crisp instead of just fucking up over centuries. With
last days of Nero.
Fiddling while
we should
Rome
just
burns.
get out our violins.
That's a bleak take on this.
Yeah, and certainly scientists out there listening to this podcast of Science Versus, you shouldn't be wasting your time looking for new species or, trying to revive species that are already dead. Like, don't bring more animals into this hellscape that we've created.
Unless you're bringing in something that could actually fix the problem, right?
Yes.
So you could bring back hot climate species that might have been extinct. Things that are used to...
Oh, no, you mean like
living in volcanoes.
I thought you meant like hot.
Sexy.
Yeah, hot, sexy.
No, I wasn't saying that.
Okay.
No, but clearly polar bears aren't needed anymore. Penguins really are on the way out.
Yeah, so you get a whole lot of tropical species.
Tropical species would be back, would be a good idea.
I like that.
And then, if you really wanted to do something about climate change, wouldn't the best thing to do for scientists, instead of bringing back the Tasmanian tiger, you bring back the dinosaur and you let the dinosaurs loose basically in wherever fossil fuels are consumed. So as in the simulation Jurassic World, you take them to the mainland and let them loose on, I don't know, the US Capitol, Australia's Parliament, anywhere where you just need to get rid of some climate deniers.
Well, it would certainly make for extra entertaining television while we all crumble. Is that the idea?
That wouldn't need everyone.
See, I don't think it's the number of... Yeah, okay, so you're saying strategically, like... You let them loose in the oil fields of Texas.
Yeah, basically choose the people for strategic depopulation.
Yes.
From dinosaurs.
Yes, okay.
And presumably dinosaurs are quite good at dealing with hot climates.
Well, actually, you know that they never died out.
They never die out.
Yeah, that's the whole... Well, this is genuine science.
Science versus, right. Okay.
Which is basically paleontology has,
they
grown
lied
in
to us?
leaps and bounds over the last 10 or 15 years. Come to the stunning realization that the dinosaurs never actually died out. Birds are dinosaurs. They're not even like the cousin of dinosaurs. They're actually just dinosaurs. Like they've got the same bone structures. They've got the same. They just are dinosaurs.
Well, it's certainly true that when you go to see like recreations of dinosaurs these days in the museums, they tend to have feathers.
Yes, feathers and beaks. Plumage, beaks, and in particular. Their bones are exactly the same structure, which is a far more sort of lightweight structure than mammals have.
Well, haven't birds fucked it then?
Yes.
Because back in the day, they ruled the planet. I mean, dinosaurs were the apex predator.
Well, the argument is, though, Dom, that actually in this climate apocalypse, mammals will die out.
Oh, so the birds are ready to go.
But the birds will probably survive. Like they are strong enough and also adaptable enough because they can fly to better climates.
Places without, the one place without.
That almost certainly they're better equipped than us.
So they're better. So it's cockroaches and birds.
Definitely, yeah. And then dinosaurs will actually survive this extinction as well. So this whole idea that dinosaurs got wiped out by the extinction. No.
So we need to evolve wings. Is what you're saying? We have any chance to survive.
We need to evolve bones that are hollow.
We need to have lighter,
stronger
that
bones.
Can fly.
Yes,
we're fucked, aren't we? Because if we're a lot heavier than we used to be.
Yeah, no, exactly, no. So it's fucked.
Well, look, we promised to do a science episode.
Yeah.
We've concluded that everything is doomed and it's all going to be a disaster.
And if you're interested in any of the footnotes from today's episode, even the references, if you want to investigate a little bit more, then probably just don't.
It was all preprint. Isn't that what Norman Swan says? Oh, it's all a preprint study.
This is all forthcoming research.
It's all forthcoming.
Yeah.
So the Chaser Report, looking at the reviews here.
Friday today, isn't it?
Review day, yes.
Review day.
They say, great podcast, but want to listen to more Chaser, less McCafe. Let's cut down on the ads, please, from rah.
Well, you can do that by going to chaser.com.au/podcast, where you can subscribe to this podcast for just $9 a month, and you get the ad-free version, plus you get a whole lot of extra content.
Yeah, you get even more. I mean, in the unlikely event that your greatest desire in life is to have more of this stuff, or the shit, you can just go to there and get more episodes.
Yep.
And they're looser generally than these.
Oh, yeah, they're terrible.
Well, this is pretty loose. So check that out. So that we've got a solution is the point to that.
Oh, look, there's also some suggestions, although, or are we going to just continue doing
other podcasts?
Maybe we should.
We might well.
We've got a suggestion here from All Added Out. I don't know. Oh, I said right. Who says, how about take on some episodes of The Infinite Monkey Cage?
Or Queens of the Drone Age.
Queens of the
they
Drone
want
Age,
science and tech. We should do a tech episode, Charles.
Yeah, and don't do News Weekly.
Yeah, you can't do it as justice, they say. Sammy's better. Is Sammy that much better on his podcast than on ours?
I love how it then says, loving the show, though maybe only 10% of the show's length should be ads. How many ads do we have? I see, I'd never listened to it.
Well, maybe only 1% of your budget should go to paying us.
Okay. Yeah, you're right. We're all huge long-term fans since CNN days. My only feedback is keen to hear an acknowledgement of country.
Which we've started
obviously
doing.
Don't listen to us because we do an acknowledgement of country.
We do now because someone wrote a review. Thank you for the feedback. Yes, of course we should have done that.
Oh, is that why we've done it?
That's why we've done it. Someone pointed out to us that it was a thing that was worth doing. We were like, oh, shit, yes, it is.
Yes.
5 stars, good way to start the morning. They have some great guests, says Jerry Kieran.
See, this is nice. Listen just to hear Charles' first voice.
What's wrong with you?
Thanks, Mum.
Frankie75. Best Uber ride ever, says keep producer notes. I'm sorry. Good show. Yeah, it's funny enough, says G484. All right.
More Gabby, less ads for paying customers.
Gabby's in Edinburgh.
Well, we would have a Gabby, except she's too successful for us now.
She just played a song on BBC Radio in Scotland, so we'll never see her again.
Yeah.
Too many ads for trombones, says Grazer69. Sorry about that.
And anyway, if you want to see Gabby, you should actually go to War on 2022, which is our national live show tour. Gabby is coming along on tour with us at the end of the year, and you can go to chaser.com.au/live and book tickets. We're 11 cities all around Australia.
It's 11 cities. Gosh, you ambitious people.
Yes.
All right, our Gears from Road, we're part of the Acast Creator Network. And neither of us is a scientist.